vlog, you guys. We're gonna do it a little bit differently though. Normally I do 24-hour reading challenges, but instead we are going to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. We're gonna read the trilogy, so there's 3 books. We're gonna read all 3 of them together. Just a quick warning, this video is going to be chock full of spoilers. I am not going to be filtered at all, but if you're okay with spoilers or you've read the book, then let's get into it and have a great time. So I got through the first chapter. All I can think of is this movie, this old horror movie that was called Wishmaster. The whole premise of Wishmaster is watching what you wish for. You can wish for something, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it in a good way. Now, in Wishmaster, there was a horror movie, so really bad things would happen. The whole time I'm following Evangeline, just thinking, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. Even she herself was telling herself, when people make wishes to the fates, never turns out the way that they expect it to. But she was willing to risk it anyways because the alternative for her would have been worse. But see, your definition of worse and what could actually end up happening are 2 different things. So now her love, Luke, her stepmom and her stepsisters and some of the other guests that were at the wedding are turned into what I'm considering living stone, because he did say that he wouldn't kill anybody. So I'm assuming that they're not dead. The part where Jax looks at her and he's like, if you're asking me this question about the kisses and you've clearly never been kissed properly. And he's like, it's not a kiss unless tongue is included. I was like, woo! Interesting start to the book, honestly. So. I like this. The fates weren't dangerous because they were evil. The fates were dangerous because they couldn't tell the difference between evil and good. Honestly, I hope that Luke loves her as much as she loves him, because she literally turned herself to stone for him. That's very romantic, but I'm already having doubts. Went into the Fate of Hearts church, and the rumor is that it smells like your heartbreak. And when she walked in there, it didn't smell like Luke at all. And interestingly enough, it smelled like apples and blood. And it just so happens that Jax likes to eat these really white apples. He's been known to cry tears of blood. Is he destined to be her great heartbreak? Does he realize it? Is the temple independent away from him? It has to be. I mean, although just because he has it set up to smell like somebody's heartbreak doesn't mean he knows what their heartbreak is, right? So maybe I'm just overthinking. I think I'm overthinking. This sounds very familiar to a lot of the situations that are going on out in the world right now. All of you seem to welcome our lies, but you never like it when we tell the truth. Anyways. Okay, we're on to part two of the book. And so far, she met the Empress and the Empress's sister, which I believe were the main characters of the Caraval series, which is a series before this one. Have not read that series. Some people say you should read it beforehand. Some say you really don't. I'm leaning towards you don't really need to. I mean, I'm sure if I read the Caraval series, I would understand Jax and more of the other characters in the story probably a little bit better. The connection would be sweeter when reading this series, but is it necessary? No. So I had to just share my dinner. I slow cooked potato soup in my slow cooker, and then I just topped some cheese on top of mine. Look at that, you guys. That looks so good. I'm gonna sit here and eat this while I'm reading. There's nothing like some nice hot soup and a book when it's frigid outside.
Dad, coming over.
This book actually breaks my heart a little bit because Evangeline is so desperate for love that she is just falling into anyone that she might possibly think that she could get that from. And guys, she's gonna get her heart broken. She's gonna get her heart broken a lot in this series. I can already tell. I feel like this is one of those moments where she's seeing Jax again for the first time since she was turned to stone, since she made the deal with him, and he's different now. He's not as young and playful looking. He looks hard, and she says that he's lost something since she'd last seen him, as if he'd been a touch human before, but now he was not. Now he was all fate. This is one of those things that if I had read Caraval first, I probably would know that he is the way he is without having to figure it out with Evangeline. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I feel more in touch with Evangeline, more in sync with her. Like if I had information she didn't have, I don't think I would connect with her the way that I am now, if that makes sense. And not to say that you won't enjoy this book if you've read Caraval. I'm just saying that I feel like I have a connection because I'm learning things along with her. What's new for her is new for me as well, having not read Caraval. So from what I'm understanding so far, something happened between one of the main characters from Caraval and Jax from the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And apparently there might have been some love interests or something going on with that. Currently, Jax has called in one of his kiss demands. She had to kiss Apollo. I'm starting to wonder if it's gonna like force Apollo to be in love with her, even though he normally wouldn't. And if that's the case, that means he would choose her as his wife. How does this play into Jax's story? Or is Jax just trying to help her forget Luke? But currently I am not a fan of Jax at all. I'm sorry. But again, maybe if I'd read Caraval, I would have a different perspective of him and what he's going through. But right now, jerk police. I have serious questions and doubts about Evangeline's stepsister. Something doesn't seem right to me. Okay, so I have to ask the one question I think just about every single person asks when they're reading this series. Are Apollo's feelings for Evangeline's own feelings, or were they orchestrated by Jax? If they were orchestrated by Jax, what is his plan? Just spending a quiet morning reading. Currently, Evangeline is getting ready to get married to Apollo, and I'm just going, what? Like, I don't know. I thought maybe that Jax was going to be the main character, the main male lead of this series, but maybe I'm wrong, because she's getting ready to marry Apollo. But see, at the same time, Apollo doesn't even love her. He's cursed. Jax is making them get together, and then he's going to end the love spell that he's put on Apollo after they get married. So where's that gonna leave the whole situation? This book is going down some weird things that I'm just like, huh? I still want to believe that Jax is the MMC, but she's marrying somebody else. How is that going to work out? Like, you can already tell that this book series is going to have me on one crazy wild ride. Okay, some really crazy stuff is going down right now in this book, and I am just like, what? I've read a lot of books in my life, but never have I been so befuddled before. What's gonna happen? How is it gonna happen? Like, I have a pretty fair idea who the FMC is and who the MMC is. With the events that are happening right now, I'm just going, I don't even know what to say, you guys. I'm about halfway through.
Okay, so today's been a busy day and I'm looking a bit frightful. I just got done going on a really long run and then I bathed like all the sweat off and I've eaten dinner and I am like super tired and I had a lot of stuff to do. It's already 8 p.m. and I'm just now sitting down to start reading again. I am about a little over halfway done. Everything's just happening so fast and in such a weird way. First, she gets engaged to Apollo and it's so obvious that what he's feeling for her is not real. And so then they get married and she wants to end the spell, which I can understand that. But honestly, I would have ended it before getting married, but Jax wasn't gonna go for that. So she ended the spell and then he just killed over. And I'm going, what? Because I'm really rooting for Evangeline and Jax, but Jax is questionable. Up until this point, I didn't think he was capable of death. He's the Prince of Hearts. So his expertise is in love and destruction of love. And even though that could be one of the deadliest fates, I think, to be, because a lot of people will do a lot of stupid things in the name of love. But like, him just keeling over, I never saw Apollo as a rival. If anything, I feel kind of bad for the guy. I mean, he's just a victim of circumstance at this point. Jax needed Evangeline to be married because of the prophecy, and so poor Apollo just got the bad end of the schnick stick in this whole situation. He basically is forced to marry someone that he doesn't even know, obviously doesn't even love, and then now he's dead. As for Evangeline, she's just so desperate to have a normal life that she's willing to pretty much just accept anything. I mean, she admitted that she's not in love with Apollo, but that maybe it could turn out that way. I think she's just so desperate for someone to care about her and to like not be alone, right, with her parents being dead and everything, that she just really wants to be with somebody. She's just wanting to fall into whatever she can. Like, first it was Luke and now it's Apollo. But, you know, I'm also getting a lot of hints, like little Easter eggs that tell me that I think she is meant to be with Jax. Because first there was the cathedral in the beginning of the book. There was this apple that it was like fire breathing like apple thing that she wanted to really try and eat, and supposedly it's supposed to taste like your one true love. And so when she took a bite out of it, she instantly thought of Jax. It tasted like Jax. It was like Jax. There's all of these hints that are saying that Jax is who she's supposed to be with, like they're like soulmates or something. I'm thinking it was even right before her wedding to her marriage to Apollo, she was talking about a picture that she drew back before her and Luke were really a serious thing, and she was thinking about wanting to be married to him, and she drew a picture of her and a guy. But here's the thing, it wasn't Luke. It was definitely her. The guy wasn't Luke, but it's almost like a faceless man, right? She just drew this man and drew herself on this pier with only the moon and the stars watching them as they exchanged their vows. If it was Luke, she would have known it was Luke. But she really describes the guy that she was marrying as a faceless man that she had no idea who he was. So that's telling me that even before she met Jax, she knew that he was the one for her. And she's got this pull towards him. Like she wants to feel sorry for him, and like every single time she starts to feel something, he does something jackassious that makes her go, oh man, I wish I never would have met him. And there's just like this push and this pull. The whole marriage thing to Apollo, okay guys, that threw me, and it was really fast too. Like, I was expecting this whole thing with her and Apollo and this getting married stuff. I thought it was going to take up like the rest of the book. He didn't even feature that much in the book so far, and the parts that you did see of the poor man was him this just like lick her feet intensity love. The biggest part that he played in this book was dying. Into the book and do some reading. I've got my Diet Dr. Pepper here. It's like my favorite end of the day thing to kind of have. And my treat for today is this little bag of nerds. Valentine's flavored, y'all. Let's get into reading, because that's really why we're all here, right? Like, I gotta find out more. Oh, also, look what came in the mail today. Ta-da! I got the other 2 books. Yes, I had started Once Upon a Broken Heart before I had gotten these 2. I got them on Amazon and they were in my cart, and I just recently purchased them. I knew they were going to get here. I mean, like, I strategically planned it. I started reading Once Upon a Broken Heart literally after these had already shipped and were on their way, so I wasn't worried about it. Okay, out of the hundreds of different ways one could die, literally crying yourself to death. Now I'm trying to wonder if she was crying when she kissed Apollo. Could her tears have poisoned him through contact? I wasn't paying that close attention. Now I need to go back. Was she crying when she kissed him? Okay, no. I didn't think so, but I needed to go back and confirm it. But no, she wasn't crying. But maybe because she kissed Apollo, maybe he'd been poisoned and she got his poison, but then why wasn't he crying too? Interesting. Oh, she did drink from the cup before she kissed Apollo. So maybe there was something in that cup. She'll need close physical contact for at least a full day for the cure to take. Yes! The girl's probably toying with them for sure, but I'm here for it. I would do the same thing, let's be honest. Ooh, part 3. Chaos. Lala is a fate? What? Okay, I didn't see that one coming. And the fate that poisoned her. Didn't see that one coming either. So Lala is a fate called the Unwed Bride. Huh. Wonder what's behind that one. There's definitely a story there. Okay, she represents rejection, loss, and unhappily ever afters. She could easily find someone to love her whenever she wanted, but the love would automatically be doomed to never last. I'm telling you, it's her conniving stepsister. I don't know, just something about her, guys. I think she poisoned Evangeline. I'm not falling for that sweet act of hers. All right. About half of this time to put it in the cupboard and save the other half for when I run again. I'm so glad that her and Lala are still friends, but I am so tired. I'm like fighting to keep my eyes open. I'm so exhausted, and I still have like 5 hours before bedtime, and I'm just going, oh my gosh. I've been pretty much go from the time I woke up this morning. And so now I'm getting to actually relax and read, and my body's going, sleep, you're laying down, sleep. So enjoying this book. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this series. Everybody's talking about it, and I'm not the only one tired.
She still believed in love at first sight, but she no longer believed it meant forever love. If it had, she would still be with Luke, living out her happily ever after. But now it was tempting to wonder if there really was a happy ending waiting for her. Aww. See, you know what? Love at first sight does exist. It's just she has to find the right guy and be willing to accept his assholism because he's practically standing right in front of you. Evangeline's being way too trusting. She needs to stay away from her stepsister. She needs to get away from her immediately because there's something not right with her sister. I've been saying this from the beginning. There's something fishy there. Something majorly fishy. I am trying to talk. And I am trying to read. What are you doing? This girl really needs to get over Luke. I mean, come on. What is she going to do? Let him go on a massacre and kill the whole world and still be like, oh, it's my Luke. Don't kill him. It's my fault he's there. Someone smack her. Holy crap, is Jax gonna be turned into a vampire? I figured he'd be safe because he's a fate. And I just assumed Chaos was just a vampire, like the first vampire, right? Like he wasn't created to be a vampire, that he just was. That was his fate. Okay, so I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart last night before I went to bed. My thoughts on it right now are that Evangeline is very all over the place. She's so quick to judge everybody. Now she's back to blaming Jax for everything. And again, I mean, like, some of the things make sense because of the whole prophecy and stuff like that. But at the same time too, though, he's always been, at least from what I've read from book one, he's always been like upfront and honest about things. I don't feel like he would have risked her by taking her to the vampires, to Chaos and stuff like that, if he was behind what happened to Apollo. She's all over the place. My goodness, it's like, girl, stop, breathe, and think things through a little bit. But anyways, we're gonna get right into book 2, which is the Ballad of Never After. I put my bookmark in on the beginning of it, but let's get right into it. I'm only 4 pages in and I already want to smack this girl. She's making definitive statements without any facts. That just seems to be the way she's doing things. She gets it in her head that something is what it is, and then that's just the end of it. She's not even trying to find the truth at this point. She's just, if it makes sense in her head, that's the truth. So we are against the clock. She has really important things that she needs to do and a limited amount of time to do it in, and she doesn't want to make any more deals with Jax, which is understandable. But I also know that she needs to try to save Apollo, and Jax is the only way that she can do that because he is the one that put Apollo to sleep. And yes, she happened to be right that he was responsible, but she didn't have proof. He admitted it to her. Jax doesn't necessarily lie. He definitely omits the truth. So you have to be careful when you ask him questions. So when he's told her, no, he didn't kill Apollo, he wasn't lying, right? This is what I'm talking about. He plays with the truth. He plays around with the truth. And that's what makes him so tricky. And I'm curious as to why he wants to open the portal so badly. And also, there's this story about the archer and the fox. Every single time she tries to find the ending, she never finds anything. And it's like the books don't want her to know the story. And I don't know if that's a curse for everybody or if it's just her. Maybe I'm just seeing too much into things that really aren't that complicated. I don't know. So she just got done talking to Lala and seeing if Lala could wake Apollo up, but unfortunately he can't. She's advising Evangeline to just open the gate. And the question is she going to go on that quest to try to find the stones and open the gate herself? Because she doesn't want to work with Jax. But I think she's going to try to do it on her own without Jax's help. And I don't think that's going to work out very well. I think she's going to end up needing his help, and they're going to go on this quest for finding the stones together. I'm waiting for it to pick up. Right now we're in the whole beginning stages of the book. They're lining everything up for what's going to be the majority of what the book is about, and so they have to get the characters there. So I feel like we're all in the beginning stages talking about a few of the things that happened in book 1, and because I literally just finished book 1, it's a little bit of a snooze fest currently. Who keeps cursing this poor woman? Now her and Apollo are tied into some kind of curse, so I'm assuming that if he gets hurt, she gets hurt, or if she gets hurt, he gets hurt. I do not want you dead, and I will kill anyone who tries. Is Lucian? No frickin' way. No fricking way. This guy just needs to disappear already. Oy vey. And I'm getting annoyed with Evangeline. She just keeps underestimating her stepsister. I get that it's her stepsister, and I get that her stepsister's clearly had a rough life, but sometimes those are the most dangerous. And clearly she knows that her stepsister's a witch. She knows that her stepsister is clearly capable of doing some pretty high-end spells. Oh, my sister's a witch and she's clearly done things against me that are horrible, but I'm not even going to think about how she could be involved in anything. And now she's cursed. Her and Apollo are cursed again. She doesn't even once think of her stepsister, who she's already admitted is a witch. You guys, this is bugging me. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go cook dinner and I need to take a break. So reading this book sometimes feels like what I would imagine it would be like being on an acid trip. It is all over the place. So confusing. Apollo was asleep, the curse, but then he wakes up with red eyes, and then Apollo and Evangeline are connected, and then Apollo's awake again and he's telling her to go away because he doesn't want to hurt her, and then his eyes are red again and he's trying to shoot her with arrows. Bah! What the heck, man? What is going on? I'm so confused. And can someone please explain to me why Marisol is still around? Get rid of the stepsister. She's an issue. And why is Evangeline not seeing this? I mean, I get that she doesn't want Marisol to be hurt. Okay, yeah, I get that. She's got a good heart, and that's awesome. Don't just stand there and get stabbed when you know what's going to happen.
I don't remember what it is.
And now Evangeline is infected with vampire venom. More can happen to this girl. There's just this list of horrible things that could befall a FMC in a book, and then someone's just throwing a dart at it, and whatever they land on is the next thing to happen to her. This poor girl is never going to be able to live a normal life. She's going to, every single time she closes her eyes, she's going to have nightmares and trauma. Forget happily ever after romance and love. You're going to need therapy for the rest of your life. Again, she underestimates her stepsister. I think her stepsister is the one that cursed Apollo. She's so busy blaming Jax, which, okay, founded. He's done some
nefariously bad things. He already had her where he wanted her with the whole Apollo being asleep thing. Why would he do something like this to risk her life when he literally needs her alive to open the gate? Ah! Okay, sometimes I have to doubt Jax too. She's not the first key. I didn't have that information until now. She wasn't the first key, which means she's not the last key. So maybe he feels like he can be a little bit desperate in his need to get her to cooperate. And if she dies, yeah, it sucks. And they would have to wait for the next new key to be born. But I'm assuming that fates don't age, and so that they're kind of immortal, so they can stand to wait. I do find it a little interesting that I haven't seen nothing of Apollo at all since she agreed to work with Jax. Now she has spent pretty much the entire time since they jumped off the cliff inside the vampire's mansion, castle, whatever you want to call it. So does that mean that the Archer curse is only for outside? Like, so if she were to go into the forest or go outside of any buildings, that he would find her? I'm trying to not be suspicious. I feel like Evangeline's choices is affecting my brain. Now suddenly I'm questioning everything. The only difference is I'm still curious about her stepsister. And I was talking to my husband about it, and he made a very valid point. What if it's not just Evangeline being stupid, but maybe she is put on under a different type of curse to where she keeps forgetting the importance of what her evil stepsister is doing, which I guess that could make sense. This book is definitely full of a lot of weird twists and turns and curses. Like, there's a story curse for the North. So anytime anybody tries to share a story about anything, it just, all of the stories get all twisted and mixed up. The part that I'm not understanding either is right now Evangeline is in the libraries trying to do research on things, but if you can't trust the stories, if you can't trust the books because they change things and they don't make sense, then how do you know what you're reading is even factual enough to be of any help? It could just lead you down a wild goose chase. So I don't really see the point of reading books if the story curse is just going to befuddle anything and everything you read. But I guess it's better than just sitting around doing nothing. At least if you're trying to make sense of it, you're feeling like you're doing something other than doing nothing, I suppose. So it is almost bedtime, so I'm going to be getting my kids ready for bed, and then I'm going to curl up in bed and I'm just going to read, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning. So I just got back from a 13.5-mile run, and now I'm ready to relax and get back into more reading, drinking some soda because I am thirsty. Like, I had all my electrolytes and my water, but now I'm ready for something different. I'm tired and my muscles are tired, so I'm looking forward to just kicking back and reading. There's definitely been some interesting moments that have happened between Evangeline and Jax. I genuinely think he's the Archer from the stories, and I think she's the fox. I don't know what happened with him in Caraval with one of the princesses. They talk about that a lot in this book, and supposedly he kissed her and then his heart started beating and she didn't die, which means she's his one true love. But yet she stabbed him in the heart and picked somebody else. So does that really mean that she's his one true love? You know what? Honestly, I don't know. Also, there's been hide nor hair of Apollo. She went wandering through the woods and no Apollo. A moment with him where she scratched into her arm and Apollo scratched back, like, you know, stay away, I don't want to kill you sort of thing. But since she agreed to work with Jax to open the gate, there's been no Apollo, and there's been no sightings of Apollo and no Apollo attempting to kill her. I don't know. I'm still going, about the stepsister, so. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's been quite the day and I'm tired. The good news is tomorrow is a rest day, so I don't have to do any running, any strength training, nothing. I just get to rest, and I'm gonna go get myself pampered. I'm gonna go get my nails done and my book. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, let me tell you. Oh, didn't make it. Oh my gosh. Good job. You keep saying that, little fox, as if it's something I should care about. So Jax just admitted to Evangeline why he wants to put the 4 stones together, what it does, and I'm just going, why? He's holding on to nothing, and I agree with everything Evangeline said to him, and I'm heartbroken for the both of them. I finished the Ballad of Never After last night right before bed, and oh my gosh, you guys, it was late, everybody was sleeping, so I couldn't actually talk to you guys about it. I so wanted to, and I had a hard time getting to sleep after the ending of this. Like, seriously, she admits, okay, she's in love with Jax. She wants to be with him. She wants to try to make it work. Then she freaking died, and then Jax turned back time to basically save her just for Apollo to, like, mind wipe her. What? Like, you know what? I was feeling sorry for this man, okay? Now, I just want to smack him. That was what happened at the end of the Ballad of Never After, and I'm going, what the heck's gonna happen now? A part of me, too, that was like, okay, I understand that Jax turned back time in order for her to not be dead anymore. Couldn't he have still done what he wanted to do originally, which was to turn back time a lot farther back so that he could be with his one true love? It still would have turned back time. She wouldn't have been dead anymore. And because he'd never met her, then she might never have came to the north, would have never met Chaos, never would have gotten killed to begin with. Although I'm glad that he didn't. He needs to be with Evangeline, okay? And I'm not accepting any other reality. It's time to get into A Curse for True Love. This is the last book in the trilogy. This one seems to be a bit smaller than book 1 and book 2. So I feel like it's going to get more to the point, but she's definitely going to have some hiccups that I'm curious about, because 1, her mind is wiped and Apollo found her first. She's going to follow what he tells her more than anything else. Then she has that letter on her mantle in her bedroom that she had wrote to herself as a reminder of all of the horrible things that Jax has done to her. That's going to be telling her to not trust Jax. And she's not going to remember any of the good things that Jax has done for her. This is going to be a battle. The question remains, is Jax going to fight for her, or is he going to give up? Well, let's read and find out, shall we? Apparently, this is dual POVs, which I kind of realized when I first started reading and it had her name at the top of the chapters. But I was just figuring that it was going to be her and Jax, but we just went into Apollo's POV, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm not looking forward to it. I don't care about Apollo at this point. Yes, I felt sorry for him in the beginning, but what he did to her was horrible. It was like the worst kind of thing that you can do. And I have no idea what's going on in his head. There's no way that he was ever in love with her, because he was basically cursed into being in love with her with a love curse from Jax, right? Finally, chapter 11, and we're finally getting Jax's point of view. It only took almost 100 pages. I don't care about Apollo. I want to know where Jax has been. He finally rescued her out of the well. We haven't seen hide nor hair of him. It's about time. I missed him. Apollo has some nerve, you guys. He took her memories and everything from her life, not just with Jax, but way back, like she barely can remember her own father's death. And yet he has the gall to be like, I don't know if I fully trust you. Everybody seems to think that you were working with Jax against me. You, A-wipe, you wiped her memories. You're the one that can't be trusted, you lying sack of poopy doopy. I know. Tell you how I really feel, right? Oh, yay. Now we're back in his point of view. Blech. Oh, Jax. Jax. Or should we call him Archer now? One of my favorite things to do at the end of the day after I went for a run and got all relaxed and done with school is just to lay here and read and snuggle with my Kiki and my dog. She can't be left out, even though she came with me on my run today. Yeah. You ran 4 miles today, didn't you? You're gonna let me read now? Are you gonna let me read? Apollo's need to, quote unquote, protect Evangeline. Okay, not even a little. It's getting a lot bad, you guys. The things that he's doing. I feel no sympathies for him anymore. Sympathies are gone. Who sympathized? Who felt bad for him? Nope, not me. You know, nope. Moving on. Just goes to show that even if somebody wipes your memories, love will still find a way. Today has been such a busy day, and I proceeded to go for a run. And then I had to come home and I had a million other things that I had to do. And I'm just now sitting down to read some more. I'm a little over halfway done with the book. We've had a couple of Jax's point of views, and that guy I'm telling you, and Apollo, he's a whole nother level. Like, I don't even know how to explain like his mindset, the way he thinks when we're in his POV. It's just like he genuinely doesn't see what he's doing as bad. He sees it as necessary to protect Evangeline. Something doesn't feel right with how he feels about her. And I know I said this earlier, but I genuinely think that he doesn't actually love Evangeline, like, at all. I think that just so many curses have been revolved around him and Evangeline that he doesn't know his own feelings anymore. I mean, like, I feel like he was going to pick somebody else at his wedding ceremony before he got cursed. And so I feel like his feelings towards Evangeline aren't really love so much as like an obsession that was started from all of the curses. And even though he's not cursed anymore, at least I don't think he is. I mean, this could be that he's still cursed, but it's such a low-key curse that he doesn't recognize it. And like Jax knows that Evangeline lost her memories of him, but he seems to think that that is a byproduct of him turning back time, but it's not. Like, Apollo did it to her, and he doesn't realize that. Like, he thinks that he's a danger to her, and so he's pushing her towards Apollo because Apollo will keep her safe, he'll protect her, yet she's been getting in all sorts of trouble that Jax, not Apollo, but Jax, has been rescuing her in. He still wants her to stay with Apollo because he doesn't realize, like, who Apollo is, right? And then you've got Castor, who is just going off the rails. He's going a little cray-cray, you guys. I mean, I realize he's a vampire. Like, I was kind of hopeful for the same kind of mindset that he was in. He wasn't worried about his helmet being taken off because he had centuries to not be able to feed. So he thought that he had matured enough that he could handle it. You know what? From someone who's done lots of dieting in her life, when you suppress yourself, your hunger for long periods of time, like, I'm talking like hardcore repression here, what we like to call binging happens. Like, and that's kind of how I see Castor at this point. He's been repressed for so long that he's kind of losing it a little bit. And I'm curious what his family is going to do when they realize that. So Jax cares about him, obviously. Like, he wants to protect Castor, but at the same time, Castor's the person that killed the woman he loves, although he hasn't admitted he loves her, but it's so obvious. Anyways, they're in the forest right now. It's during the hunt. She almost saw her parents, but didn't actually see her parents. And then she ran across Castor, and then she ran across Jax, who stabbed Castor. And then, like, they're trying to run away now. I'm just going, oh boy, is Castor going to wake up and, like, try to attack Jax again? We're just going to have to wait and see. But anyways, I just went on, like, a long ramble, didn't I? Let's get back to reading. I don't even think it.
They're in an inn, pretending to be married, and there's only one
I
bed.
spent the morning finishing A Curse for True Love, and now the series is completely finished and done. Such a cute story. I absolutely loved it. I found it like very interesting on how Apollo was gotten rid of. You can definitely tell with the way that the book ended that the author is definitely not done with this world. I know that they created Carval, which, you know what, honestly, I might read, I might not. I don't know. This was definitely a good series for a YA. I loved how I couldn't predict pretty much anything in this series. Honestly, reading this series kind of reminded me of those room of mirrors that you go to in carnivals and stuff. Like, you walk in there and like everything is distorted. You don't know what's up. You don't know what's down. You don't know what's true, what's not. Like, you're even questioning your own self, right? Because it can get so discombobulating in those room of mirrors. I never knew what was going on, what was up, what was down. And also, I'm not quite satisfied with how they answered the whole apple thing, you know, because Jax always had an apple. I'm assuming that like every single time he thought about kissing her, he had to eat an apple. I'm assuming that that's what that is. And I guess it kind of hints at, didn't actually say every time I was tempted to kiss you, I ate an apple. Like, all he did is he pretty much, you know, touched her lips and said, it doesn't matter because I don't need him anymore anyways. And then he kissed her. And the other thing is, throughout all this whole vlog and reading this whole adventure in these 3 books, I kept going on and on about her stepsister and her stepsister being involved in all of this. Apparently, I was way wrong. I was apparently overthinking the series or something. I don't know. We didn't even see her again. Like, they managed to save her from getting her blood sucked out by Luke, and then nothing after that. So I'm wondering if Stephanie Garber decides to write another series, I wonder if it's going to be about Evangeline's stepsister and Luke. There's a possibility. I almost feel bad for thinking so wrongly of her, and if a series did get made with her as the main character, I don't know if I'd be able to read it, because I can't get her being a bad guy out of my head. Anyways, this concludes my vlog. This was a very good series. I had a good time, and I'm so glad that I read it in February, because I don't know, like the Prince of Hearts, Jax, for whatever reason, it just gave me the vibes, and I absolutely loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this with me. I had planned on making a non-spoiler version of this vlog, but let's be honest, I don't think, I mean, like, there's so many spoilers in this vlog warrant like enough content. It would probably be like 3 minutes long. thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.